Welcome to the Waterborne overview, where we're going to demo Waterborne to show you some of the new cool things about this new faction. We have our products in the back here because this is the first time all of our products can be shown together because we have the complete faction set for Master of Wills finally done after almost 4 years of developing. Unlike every other faction, Waterborne has what's called an innate power. And that means you don't need to combine it with another card. Every time a card with the icons shown here are played, something happens. So what's Waterborne about? Well, they have what's called primal instincts and monster fury, because that's what Waterborne is all about. Some of them are kind of monstrous in their powers, and others have control over animal instincts. So what happens is when you play any card that has this symbol, what will happen, I'll grab a couple cards from down here. What will happen is if there's a card in the community, all it does is if I play this card, I can choose then to kill any card in the neutral area. That's all that does. So it's an innate power to get rid of a card every single time. Now what the animal instinct does, unlike the kill, it's the opposite. It places a card on the board which the opponent will not be able to see, nor will you, until the beginning at the start of your next turn, in which it will then be revealed and you will have a new starting card that was not currently available to anybody else. So you'll always get an extra starting card if played there. Both cases, even in all the tests, don't give a massive advantage every game, but just like all the other factions have their own little niche, this is what they can do. This innate power that just comes with the play of almost every epic and legendary has this, and a few action cards. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll go ahead, I'll put these back in. Let's go ahead and draw to see who goes first. Oh, it's not gonna be me.
A long shot?
Actually, it is gonna be me.
Yeah. And I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. My legendaries that I want to get on the board early, and this one's called the Norseman. The Norseman is a very cool card. It's very unique and different than any card in the game. The way it works is you'll place this in the neutral area on a card, preferably a high card. That card is now protected, and if it's removed, this can be removed by the opponent, but if it is removed, you're going to get cards from this stack. So once it's here, at the end of the next turn and the next turn after that, I can continue to take cards and protect them underneath this, but they must have a different color, cannot be a red, and the value cannot be greater than the value of the last card protected. So essentially, if I protect the 8, going forward, 8s or less I can protect, and at any time I can move this as my starting card. So it's got a really good range, but it could get stuck if, say, for example, these 2 cards get moved, which they absolutely can, and then I'm stuck having to protect a 4, and then it becomes way less powerful, less valuable. Now I did play this, so it's gonna give me a face down card for the next turn because of the innate animal power, and then I'm gonna end my turn.
I guess I'll go ahead and get down this ship, Dreki, which you can place in recruit's row behind 1 card. And what it'll do now is every time I can move through a card through this row, the recruit's row, without using a movement.
Right, so if I have a card here, +1 would be here, and you can choose not to use it too, by the way. But for the remainder of the game, the only bad news for him is when playing it on this side, it protects my 9, and I will get those points at the end of the game as long as that ship remains. I'm gonna go ahead and play my other legendary early. It's called Tolltaker, one of my personal favorite cards. This one I'm gonna place on this green card. Now what that means is every time a green card passes, or lands in the row, so if this card goes to here or lands there, a new card is added to the recruit's row. Now this card can be moved. It can be moved between these rows, right?
I can even move it to my side.
You can even move it to your side, but it can be moved anywhere. It cannot be banked as an ally, but if you do that, for example, if it goes over here and then that card's moved, he's still paying my recruit row for every pass through.
Yep. So is an interesting card right here. Anya Bardigo. So what that's going to allow me to do is take my faction deck and split it into two.
In this case, we are actually playing with less cards for testing purposes. We're not using neutral cards, so this is really good for him, actually.
Yeah. So from now on, from every time I play a faction, I can draw one from each pile, choose which one I want to add to my hand, place the other one back on either of those two piles.
Okay, so I'm gonna play Valtavar. Now, Valtavar is another very unique card to this set. He can play and become any neutral card in the entire Master of Wills game. So if you're not aware, you can look at whatever neutral cards are available and you can make Valtavar that card. I am gonna just make Valtavar an inventor. An inventor allows me to basically flip a card over, and of course both of the big 11s are out, but now Valtavar becomes orange inventor. So from the remainder of the game, I could have done Killing Spree, I could have done Black Mirror, but I decided on that, so anytime an orange comes out, he's taken.
Good old face down round effect.
Well, why don't you share everybody what it is? It won't matter.
Well, yeah, especially this one, because this one is end of game. Scald, place face down a round effect. At the end of the game, I will draw one card from any faction deck, and I can play the card, or I can force the opponent to play a card or discard it. And then once this faction play is complete, I will then choose one of the primal instant cards and double its value.
Go ahead and go with Water Scar. Now, in this case, it's I had mainly a monster rage deck, but I do have a couple of these in my deck. So draw 2 community cards to your recruits. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Then it says, choose either the neutral area or afterlife and place all the cards that match the value of one of the drawn cards to your recruits. So what I would do is I would look in here and see, are there any cards with the same value? There is one, which is the red, and I'll get that card. That is it.
Let's do it. So Stormwatch, what I'm going to do is place it behind any card in the neutral area. Take this 4. And what happens with this card is that the opponent can now choose to either take this on their next starting turn, or if they don't take this card, its value is increased by 225, sorry.
Right.
And this is then protected in place until my next turn.
Right.
So it's a good card to either force the opponent to react to it, or maybe change the play somewhat.
Right. All right, so I'll draw one. I'm going to play, it's interesting. I'm gonna play Swindler. Now, Swindler is an action card, but she is a really cool action card. She's actually a character, which is rare in our game to have action card characters. I'm gonna play her on the recruits row. Now, it's interesting, he has an 11 and a 4 and an 11 and a 4. So she kills any card of the same value in a row. So whatever I get, I got the 11. If I can now move, which I won't because he's got that 3 there, she will kill all 11s that get into this row. So essentially, it's here, and if I can move that 11 here, that 11 dies. So it's all based on the value. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and play this card. It's gonna be face down, and this is Soul Gatherer. Soul Gatherer is going to allow me to reveal at any time and restore up to 3 afterlife cards that match the value or community with a card from my side. So I'm going to keep that down here and kind of keep it for a rainy day.
Halfgrim, she's pretty interesting. So place her in a lasting effect row. All cards in this row are now worth half value. So at the end of the game, you'll just count up all the cards in that row by red.
And something interesting about her, she could actually remove your own. So if you had to play Black Mirror here, she can remove and be played. So,
But you cannot remove your opponents.
so this row is worth half the value unless it's protected. Thank you.
So I want to cut that.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play on this one, Roanoke Clearbang. This is a really cool card because what it allows you to do, swap one card on your side of the board with one card that matches the same community color. So I can swap this 4 for this 10. Okay, and it's also says if you want, I can play an action card from your hand and draw one card to replace it. So if I did this, I will then play, I'm gonna go ahead and play the Great Hall. It's not gonna do me any good, but the Great Hall allows me to add a recruit every end of my turn in which I have less cards in this row than my opponent does.
With Erd, the Norn of Thought. So what she does is I can move any 2 cards on the board +2 or -2 rows. So in this case, I'm going to take the 10 +2, and I'll take the 6 using the ship 1, 2.
Which triggers him.
Yes, it will.
So
Unfortunately,
I get another
but so I may only move 1 opponent card. If I do, the opponent draws 1 card and places and recruits. Once faction play is complete, I may freeze 1 card on the board or take 1 primal instinct card. So she's going to get the bonus,
do this,
and I can either freeze a card or take that to my recruits.